Hi, I'm Alexander Clement, Director of Research for Corporates at Eurasia Group and contributing editor to Signal, Eurasia Group's weekly newsletter. I'm very pleased to be joined today by Mohamed El-Erian, Chief Economic Advisor at Allianz, author of the recent New York Times bestseller, The Only Game in Town. Mohamed, very pleased to have you with us today. One of the problems with globalization as it played out was that it focused too much on the winners and not enough on the losers. What do you think the biggest pitfall is now?
So we have the same opportunity with the combination of artificial intelligence, big data, and mobility. That is so transformational in what it does because it enables the individual to do things that she or he could not do before. I look at my daughter about how comfortable she is with Uber, how comfortable she is with other things that have empowered her in a way that I was never empowered. And that is just the tip of the iceberg as to massive transformational change that's coming down the pike. Now, that is going to have the same elements or characteristics as globalizations. There'll be winners and there'll be losers. And the question is, will we be able to manage that process better? And that's going to be a real test, but it is coming. The most important one is that the developed world doesn't live just in cyclical space. So there's an element of once you have mature institutions, once you have a mature economy, then you're subjected to the business cycle. Think of someone who is in their 30s or 40s. They've reached a certain level of stability. Yes, do they have ups and downs during the year? Yes, but it doesn't fundamentally derail them, right? Whereas when you're a teenager, an up or a down can fundamentally change your life. So conventional wisdom for a long time in the advanced economies is we live in cyclical space. And what the West is starting to realize is actually we live in secular and structural space. Right. So who lives in secular and structural space? The developing countries. That's where they live. And they've acquired a lot of insights as to how to manage that process. We fell in love with the wrong growth model about 15 years ago. And we lost sight of critical things, infrastructure, labor retooling, labor retraining, things that actually generate sustainable growth. And I think that was a big mistake. So we continue to see unthinkables and improbables becoming reality. And I interpret that as the system telling you that we are in an unstable equilibrium. Yes, things may seem stable from an economic perspective, from a market perspective, but it is an artificial and unstable equilibrium. It's being held together by exceptional measures, but the measures themselves are starting to have unintended consequences, and they're compounding the absence of a real solution to an underlying issue. And as an economist, I can tell you the underlying issue is that the West has failed repeatedly to generate high inclusive growth. And when that happens, when there isn't enough growth and when the benefits of growth go to a small segment of the population, people get angry. And when the politics of anger start dominating, you get improbable outcomes.